Well, you join me from under my desk, which as you can see looks absolutely disgusting. Why is that? Well, I'm going to start by redoing my desk setup because you see, what date is it today? 22nd. Yeah, around about 3 days ago it was my birthday, so 19th of September folks, get it on your calendar. And I received a UPS among other things, so we're going to be installing a UPS today. This has taken ages to move everything out because previously there was a cabinet here, PC there, and a bunch of other rubbish over that way. There's a few things we're going to put under the desk, starting with the UPS. Now, this is going to be like a beginning of sort of a series. I don't know when all the parts are going to come out. They're not really planned rigidly or anything. But this is going to be a multi-part series on generally updating my desk setup in various aspects. I think this is a good one to do because I've been putting off doing a few things under here because, well, there's a lot to move, obviously. So first of all, I think the power strip, what I'm going to be doing is moving that to the right. But when I moved everything, I noticed the floor is absolutely disgusting, so I think we're going to tackle that first. We're going to clean that up. Much better. Look at that. I won't catch diseases anymore. And it's all thanks to this little thing which I don't use an awful lot. I probably should use it more. Right, as part of what we're going to do, we're going to be putting the Synology hopefully on top of the UPS. But as you can see, it's a bit disgusting in its own right, so that's going to have to get sucked off too. Much better. Lovely. But still, there's all that disgustingness. So our job here is not done. Now, I think it's high time we brought the UPS up, but I'm having steak for tea. I think we'll do that first. Well, that steak was absolutely amazing. But anyway, look what I brought upstairs. So you notice the one and only name in UPS's, well, I know there's others, but this is 950 VA. You can probably read, but I'm pointing it out anyway. 480 watt limit. The PC actually, when I measured everything that's going to be plugged into this, it only topped out when running a really demanding game, which is a typical workload. I mean, gaming is a workload. And it only really peaked at 300. So this has some room in it. So I think we need to take a look inside because apparently they don't connect the batteries in these things. And there it is. The good old Schneider APC backups. Or back UPS. Yeah, it had a quality control pass sort of receipt, it looked like, on the side, but I'm manhandling this. This is bloody heavy. But yeah, 6 outlets. I was surprised actually because the other ones only had 3, and then these were like just only surge protected, so just 3 battery backups. But no, 6 things you can put on this. It's got a USB thing, so you can actually connect it to a PC or, well, apparently I can connect it to my Synology, and there's like a script or something you can run to actually make it work on other PCs through the network, like your Synology becomes a server. That's how I understood it anyway. We need to, yeah, we need to connect the battery first, so I'm just going to open this up. Okay, all of those sheets, they actually only boil down to one. It's like there's a whole bunch of these folded things, so that's every other language under the sun. Don't need that. Just shove it back in the box. Let's get this open. Of course, I knew it was going to be difficult. Right. No, it's not that side. This side. Okay. This UPS is intended for indoor use only. Well, really? I'd plan to use it outside in a gale. Connect the UPS power cable directly to a wall outlet. Do not use surge protectors or extension cords. Whatever. Right, so it says connect the battery by pulling the battery connector handle. That's what I've done. And then, is that it? Huh, I think it is. Alright then. So I did get some other things to help this project along a little bit. The UPS is fine, by the way. That's pretty much all you have to do. The rest of it's just information and guidelines. It's not actually a step-by-step on how to do stuff. But UPS is safely off to the side. This is a few things I got. Now you got this in the box. This is like, they give you at least one of these IEC cables, so that's good. But I had another one because I do need it. One of them will be for Synology, the other one will be for the PC. And I got this thing as well. The plan is I'm actually going to plumb in the network switch as well. Reason for that is that if I'm transferring a file, it's a very niche scenario, but if I'm ever transferring a file and the power goes off, it'll be able to continue that. I know it's copy on write, I know there's probably other things, but it's nice to be safe. And this last one is because my monitor's an awkward shite and it has a clover leaf, so I had to buy one of those. But that's fine, so that's just a few cables to get the job going. And here's a couple of additional pieces of tech. This actually is a mini PC from China. I don't know if I've ever shown this on the channel, but this is going to act as a server for various things. I'll have to show that in probably a video of its own. And yeah, that's kind of self-explanatory. A server sits in the background, doesn't do much. So that's going to be mounted under the desk as well. That, by the way, if you wonder what that is, that's a headless display adapter, so you actually get good performance. And this thing is quite obvious. It's a network switch. It's a spare one I had. This is going to extend the capability of the 8-port that's under there, and it's going to be used for like non-essential or infrequently used things like printers and maybe a PC that doesn't really get connected all that often, because the rest of the switch is probably best saved for the things that do matter, like gigabit items like PCs and the Mac and stuff, basically. So they're going to go under there as well. But first I've got to do some drilling because we need to move something. Oh yeah, there's a tiny network cable to connect the network box. So I need to do a little bit of drilling so that this socket strip gets moved all the way from there over to this side, because the PC used to be over there and I used to put stuff on top of it. So at the time it made a lot of sense, but that has to be moved over because the server is going to actually be mounted over there, and I didn't actually show that in detail, but this thing is a VESA mount, and that would usually of course be strapped on the back of a monitor, but that's going to be screwed to the desk via these little holes first, and then that's slid into it, and that'll be nice on the back. As well as that, the network switch has these holes. See that? So that's going to be great as well. I can mount that. The print server will just dangle wherever it wants to dangle. I don't really care. So I need a drill. I believe I have one somewhere. I might have to borrow one. Got it. I'm doing things kind of ghetto-like with my phone, using it as a light. But I've just realised I've put the drill in there and I haven't taken the bloody screws out first. So wait a second while I do that. So that both did and did not work. The drill was a little too fast for that and spun and rounded the head, but I did get the other end off. But the thing is though, I'll just put that down a second, I did have to use a screwdriver because it seems like that tip is just about right for those screws. They're just little flat tops with what look like built-in washers anyway. So I'm going to try and position this just a moment or two, and we'll see if I can then drill the holes. Well, actually, I'll see if I can get that out first. Yeah, that screw is dead, I think. Now, it's not superbly level, I've just realised. In fact, it's not level at all. But who gives a shit? It's a socket strip. It does one thing, and one thing only, and that is accept sockets. So now, we're going to try and fit the mini PC. We're going to try and fit that up there, but we're going to try and see if this will actually fit better. There we go. Plate all nicely mounted. Let's get hold of the PC. Alright then. Oops. Oh, overshot. There we go. Little mini PC is on or in and ready. So now we've just got to try and work out how we're going to mount this. I mean, I know where I'm going to put it. It's going to go right next to it. And this is going to make it so much easier to plug things in. Now, usually it's meant to go up so the ports are pointing upwards. Well, that sort of seems to work. I mean, I didn't expect the ports to be at the top. What I actually wanted was all the ports to face down, but that seems to be just the way that the hanger works. Maybe if I get into 3D printing, I'll perhaps print out a bracket that slides on and off, but I don't actually have one of those. So what we've got to do is get everything else plugged in. The plan had been to put cables up the back of the network switch, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. But heck, we'll try it. We'll do whatever we can. So that plan just wasn't working for me at all, because in order to have this mounted where you go in and down, as you can see there, ports are at the top. It was basically pulling the unit off the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it ports to the bottom, but I have some things that will actually help that idea to work. And the answer is Velcro. Oh, and I solved the lighting situation. But it's not my best stuff and I don't have much of it, but I'm thinking I can use that to stick it to the back of the desk. I hope, until I get my other roll, which I don't know where that is. I really don't. And hopefully there's not going to be too much weight on it. But this doesn't work for me, sadly. So yeah, let's try it. And that worked pretty good. Pretty secure on there. The cable's nicely routed round. I can sort of begin to plug things in now, although I want to be careful because there's going to be a lot of moving about before we actually get a final layout. So the other switch is probably going to be just have the same treatment. It's just going to be taped on there, or velcroed on there, and that's pretty much going to be it for that bit anyway. Well, things have moved on apace. Things are now plugged in. Not everything is, of course. It's got a few cables to manage. But there we go. That is actually in now, and it made a very satisfying click buzz as soon as it came on. I'm not going to fully turn it on yet though, but I had a bit of bother with the Velcro. It started to peel off. Now I don't know if I just need to get better Velcro or if there's a different way to do this, but either way the setup is coming together. I didn't reckon on how close things were going to be. For example, the network box previously was in the way. In fact, it's not even added in the right place, and this cable was pushing as well. As that's probably as far forward as the Synology is going to go, but you see in this it's not optimal. I'm guessing I could probably lay the UPS on its side. We'll have a go at that, but I don't know if it has to maintain ventilation there. Now that's a lot better, although it may push out the cupboard a little bit. That's about as close as you can get to the wall. But hey, we'll see how that goes, but it should be fine. It should have enough ventilation. The cupboard is going to be pushed forward significantly, however, so that might be a thing that we need to worry about, because usually it wouldn't be. It's all in place. I kind of wish the power strip was straight because it's really bothering my OCD right now. Not that I have it, but everything's on. Synology's on. The other thing is on. The only things to put in now are the PC, and that's the PC's Ethernet down there. And we'll start getting everything back in. Whew. I mean, it looks a bit bad still, but there's nothing really I can do about all these cables. I mean, they're necessary for function, really. Possibly one more thing to do. Huh. Oh shit. Shouldn't have pressed that. Yeah, don't press that button. Oh, the Synology's not going to be happy about that. Never mind. We learnt our lesson. So the UPS is on, and there's a buzzing noise coming from it. And it's gone. Right. Don't press that button. Well, that's everything put back in its place, and everything appears to work. Fantastic. And the Synology is no longer up there. Much quieter with it out of, well, shouting distance of my head. Okay, it's a little while later, well, a lot later, and everything's back in place, and this is the next phase of the plan. So the UPS and everything is all sat behind there, that's all done. If we pan up, next thing we might want to come to is the desk. This old thing, I've got some plans for that. That's possibly the next bit that's going to be done. Followed by that thing up there, the shelf, and somehow we're going to sort all this stuff. Hopefully That'll happen at some point next year, but I can't tell you when. So basically what's going to happen is hopefully the top there'll be a shelf here and another one above it up there. Is my hand even in the right place? So that's going to happen soon, and that will form the basis of the next part of the desk setup. I mean, it really needs it. Look at all those boxes and things stacked there. But for now, the UPS and everything behind there is all sorted. That's part 1 complete. Part 2, who knows precisely when that's going to be. But anyway, thanks for watching and see you later.